Tomorrow we're going to see worldwide demonstrations in favor of a much higher minimum wage. We will see those demonstrations in the United States. I talked to a sandwich shop operator today who's got 750 outlets across America. He told me, you raise the minimum wage to $10.10 an hour, as the president wants, and that will wipe out his profit margin, the profit margin of his franchisees. You've just told us that you're going to hire more workers with what the new thing that you've just introduced. Can you live with a much higher minimum wage?
Well, Stuart, I think the issue is this. If the minimum wage goes up for everybody, it becomes a form of inflation for the entire industry. And ultimately, folks like us, what we're about, you know me, what we're about is the guest experience. What we're about is creating a better experience for the guests coming in every day. The folks that are going to win are going to be the people that do that. Costs will be applied equally to everybody.
So you will pass along a higher minimum wage to your customers, or what?
Well, that is obviously the reality. It will be another form of cost, no different than food inflation, no different than increase in development costs. Ultimately, we have to maintain we have to attract the customer, and we have to be able to attract capital. Both are real things that exist for business people like us.
Now, we just had a report about much higher food prices. I mean sharply higher food prices. That's got to hit you as well, hasn't it?
Absolutely, Stuart. I think you see food inflation occurring. And I think you see it occurring across the economy. We're feeling it's higher than projections. We have to build that in, and we have to prepare for that. Ultimately, the way you build a business like ours, though, is driving customers in, giving them a better experience. And when we can do that, we can spread the costs.
Okay, so you'll incorporate a higher minimum wage, you'll incorporate higher food prices. How will you incorporate the higher cost of health care under Obamacare?
I mean, ultimately, all of these affect everybody in this society, everybody in the industry equally, don't they? And so we'll have to accommodate them, and there'll be a balance of more customers coming in the door.
But sir, do you have an opinion on it? Do you have a strong opinion on Obamacare, on raising the minimum wage? You got a strong opinion for or against?
Well, let me say frankly, I am on the record as saying I personally support, me personally, not the company, I support an increase in the minimum wage. I do if it's applied equally across the economy. If it is applied solely to one, it becomes then an inflationary cost that applies to everybody. But I think, listen, it's an issue that we all have to ask. And it's an issue of what kind of society we want. When you have people living below a living wage, what kind of society is that? Can people survive? Is that what we want?
I could answer by saying, what's the supply and demand for that level of labor? And we could say that, but we're out of time. You know how it goes, Sean.
Okay.
Ron Shaich, everybody. Great company, great food. I'll be there frequently. Ron Shaich, Panera. Thanks for joining us, sir. Appreciate it.